What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that NBA news hot topic analysis. We've seen more free agent things happen on this Sunday. Is going to be even crazier, possibly on Monday, but it should simmer down a little bit more as the week continues. And we can get right into it. Y'all came to hear what I had to think and say on these topics, and one of the biggest ones tonight is Deandre Ayton to become free agent following a buyout with the Portland Trail Blazers. They traded for him. They thought that he'd be a real good helper for them, a real good difference maker. Didn't really go that way or work out that way, just like it didn't for Phoenix. He will become an unrestricted free agent. The Blazers acquire Ayton from the Phoenix Suns as part of a multiple team deal for Damian Lillard trade in 2023. Ayton was entering the final season of his 4-year, $133 million contract he signed with the Indiana Pacers during the 2022 offseason that the Suns subsequently matched. And that was something to keep their franchise big man that they went to the NBA Finals with safe and secure. And he was so young, too. And he also did a good job on Jokic, and he did a decent job on Giannis until Giannis figured out how to dominate against him. And Aiden also had a $35.6 million remaining balance on that contract. And to give him some credit, last season, Aiden averaged 14 points, 10 boards, so a double-double, something that he can do in his career at that front court spot, a.k.a. center spot. He also had 1.6 assists in 30 minutes, and he scored 40. He played 40 games with the Blazers. That's not enough. You want them to play more games than that. At least you want to get in the 60s or the 70s, of course. And we would love if you can play all 82 also as fans, but also as an organization, especially if you can stay that healthy. The Blazers have a front court depth chart at center with Donovan Clingan, Robert Williams, and the new guy they just drafted, Hansen. I think the Chinese guy. I don't know if he's Chinese or Japanese, but I know he's not really from this country when it comes to his relatives and his background. Aiden, who is represented by Bill Duffy, will undoubtedly be linked with the Los Angeles Lakers, who are looking for a center. And Aiden is one that can protect the paint and rebound and finish strong, and also hit some shots from the perimeter. Not great at it, but he can do it. And he's not the worst free throw shooter at the center position either. The Lakers are searching for an upgrade at center, and Aiden shares the same agent as Luka Doncic and Duffy, so that can be something that can make the deal come a little quicker. Plus, the Lakers not really trying to give up that much cash, and Aiden is looking to prove himself, and he's looking to continue to have a long NBA career. And the Lakers can make that job easy for him also, because Luka Doncic is a guy that's always finding bigs and making the job easier from bigs. And that's all he has to do is catch and finish, or be prepared to be in a dunker spot, or just be prepared anytime somebody try to double team or help off Luka, and just try to be in the right spot at the right time. Other than that, the Lakers could use the full non-taxpayer mid-level exception to sign Aiden. The decision by Dorian Finney-Smith to not exercise his player option is going to be the key right there. The other thing that I would say is DeAndre already got his big payday, like I said before, with that $133 million contract he signed a couple years ago. So now it's just about fitting in and trying to win games and possibly win a championship. That should be his biggest goal as an NBA player and as one of the better centers in free agency right now, and just in general. Another thing I wanted to say was Jabari Smith Jr. and the Rockets, they agreed to a 5-year, $125 million extension. Those are big numbers for a guy like Jabari Smith Jr. He hasn't been the greatest player. He also hasn't been one of the worst, and he's still growing and developing at the end of the day. And I think that that's something that we knew what he was going to be when he got drafted. They called him Kevin Durant. Now he gets to play with Kevin Durant. And he also has been a better defender than what we thought that he would be, using that strength and that length. And he did bulk up a little bit too. And he can score from the perimeter, and he is a decent rebounder. So it's going to be interesting to see the development of Jabari Smith Jr. because a lot of people feel because of Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks being gone that he's going to be back a starter because he basically lost his starting spot to Amen Thompson when he got injured. And now they're going to probably start Amen and Jabari Smith with Kevin Durant and Şengün and Fred VanVleet. And that's going to be a formidable team for everybody to go against because they're legit already defensively, even though they was a young team. And they still do have good depth on their roster, even though they traded a lot for Kevin Durant. Most of it was picks than players, which makes a lot of sense because they liked it how their team performed last year besides in the playoffs. Well, then they was a number 2 seed. They got beat by the Golden State Warriors. That was a little bit of a letdown, although they did go 7 games. The contract will reportedly feature no team or player options. So this is just going to be a straight 5-year deal, lock in for Jabari Smith Jr. He's so young that he's still going to be in his 20s anyway by the middle or end of this contract. And if he stays healthy, people still going to want him because of his physical attribute and his nice skills that he has, and the fact that he can probably be even better a couple years from now than what we're seeing from him currently. Smith with the Rockets has been uncertain as they have evaluated major trade options and also acquired Kevin Durant. Smith was the 3rd overall pick in a 22 draft out of Auburn behind Paulo and Chet Holmgren, who has had spectacular starts to their careers. But let's give him some credit. Last season, Smith did average 12 points and 7 boards and 1 assist in 30 minutes, and he was not the number 1 option. They was not running the offense through him, and he accepted that, and he was good with that, and they was winning a lot of games, so it does make sense for him to feel that way. 35% on 3-pointers is what he did. You would like him to be a little bit higher, about 36, 37, 38%. He's capable of doing it. We just have to see if he's going to put in the work that's needed to be able to get there as his career continues to go on. But Smith was limited. He only played 57 games due to a broken left hand, and he did return to a bench role following the emergence of Amen Thompson, like I said before. And the Rockets also signed Ime Udoka and Steven Adams to extensions, and now they're probably going to work on one with Kevin Durant, so that way he can possibly retire in Houston. Since they traded for him, they want to keep him. And even if you don't keep him, you rather have him on the contract so you can get something back in return if you want to trade him. And you can say the same thing about Jabari Smith Jr., who they can keep or not keep, but they got him locked up, so a team will be more interested in it because he is that young and they don't have to worry about him wanting to leave. And even if he does, they can trade him too, because he's going to hopefully be one of the better young players in the league. But they still did retain Fred VanVleet, Jay Shante, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green in free agency before June 30th. So it's not even July yet, and they got a lot of their free agents back. And on top of that, these are some of their best players while still having other guys on rookie contracts to fill out the rest of the roster. The Rockets did finish the regular season in 2nd in the Western Conference, and they were considered a contender because of that. And only team that finished above them was the Oklahoma City Thunder, who did win 60-plus games, and they one of the young teams in the league too. But the Rockets are showing that they're trying to play catch-up, and I think that that's going to be something fun and interesting to see if they can do it successfully, and that's going to be the thing for the Rockets. And on top of that, one of the former Rockets, James Harden, chose to decline his option with the Clippers, and he ended up signing a 2-year, $81.5 million contract with them. Harden was traded to the Clippers during the 2023-2024 season, and he ended up re-signing with them on a 2-year contract worth $70 million that year. The thing about it is the Clippers did overperform. Nobody thought the Clippers was going to be as good as they were last season. Nobody even thought that the Clippers could win 50 games because Kawhi Leonard only played 34 of those games. And we didn't see enough of him. And they ended up overperforming that. And they even took the Denver Nuggets to 7 games, who took the Thunder to 7 games, showing you how really good the Clippers can be when they're playing their best basketball and they're getting up and being challenged by some of the best. They in the Western Conference, so it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be a struggle sometimes. But James Harden still has confidence that he can win a championship in his hometown, Los Angeles. So I think he's from Los Angeles. So could be wrong, but he's in that California state. So that's all that really matters. And the Clippers are representing real well. They really turned around their culture and their franchise and their respect when they got Blake Griffin, and then they ended up getting Chris Paul not too later after that. Ever since then, they've been a competitive franchise, and they became really more respectable when they also got Steve Ballmer, who gave them their own place and their own arena to play in. And they took a gamble on getting Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, which hasn't really paid off just yet. But now they can go in this direction with Harden, who is still one of the better players, end up being an all-star player, I believe. And him and Kawhi Leonard can hopefully get off to a better start. Same with Norman Powell, Zubac, and whoever they're going to have at that guard position. Um, and that's going to be the thing that we're going to have to continue to keep a watch out for. But Harden and the Clippers have a mutual option for 2 years with a partial guarantee should the team decline it. Harden also aligns with the final season of Kawhi Leonard contract, which runs through 26-27. Harden did average 22 points on 41, 35, and 87 shooting splits. He had 5.8 rebounds and 8.7 assists, and he did play 79 games on his way to an All-NBA third team selection as the Clippers exceeded expectations, which is 100% true. And the Clippers reshaped their roster last offseason around Harden, Leonard, and Zubac, obviously. And Norman Powell ended up playing way better than any of us ever thought that he would, almost being at an all-star level, but he didn't get selected, which was unfortunate. That was one of the worst part of their seasons, not rewarding Norman Powell for as good and as different of a maker he was for this Clipper team. The Clippers acquired Harden via the trade with the Philadelphia 76ers in October 2023 in exchange for Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, and Nick Batum and KJ Martin in a 2028 unprotected first-round pick and 2 second-round picks, a 2029 pick swap, and an additional first-round pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a lot of young guys that they let go to keep Harden, and it is good to be able to get them to extend, to stay a little bit longer, to keep that window of trying to win the championship with Kawhi Leonard open as long as they can. And this roster is still one of the better rosters in the NBA because of Zubac, Norman, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard. And we're going to see if they can continue to possibly be able to do more because Kawhi Leonard should be healthier this season. And some people are saying LeBron may have limited option if he pursues a trade from the Lakers because his contract is so huge. Is right now is at $52.6 million. And it's the player option that he chose to opt in on. And even if he wants to go, most teams can't get that contract to come in because most teams don't have the cap space and most teams don't have the requisite talent to even give an intriguing offer to the Lakers to even want to get rid of one of the best players in the league, who is Ramon James. So let's not forget that. And on top of that, even if he wanted to leave, he demands so much and he wants so much from an organization. If we're going to trade you, can we even win with you? Because we might be in the same position as the Lakers with you if we do try to get you, which means we might be good enough to make the playoffs, but we definitely might not be good enough to win the championship. So what's the point of even getting traded? Because at least the Lakers are still trying to win with you, and you have a guy that looked up to you in his entire career, and Luka Wonderboy Doncic, who is one of the best players in the league, and it looks like he's taking things a lot more serious this offseason, and that could be a great thing for the Los Angeles Lakers, in my personal opinion. But it's going to be a little bit of a headache trying to find what's going on with LeBron and how that situation can shake out. And if he even wants to play even longer in his NBA career, that's his plan. That's his ideas that's going through his head. And we're going to see what he ultimately chooses to do. But not only that, Bobby Portis Jr. ended up agreeing to a deal with the Bucks. He loves Wisconsin. He loves staying here. He loves the roster that they've been able to build. He loves the things that John Horst has been able to do with the roster. He agreed to a 3-year, $44 million deal. He still is one of the best bigs off the bench. He's a double-double, easily one of the best players you can get in free agency this year. And it makes sense why the Bucks will want to bring him back. The guy can shoot a three. The guy can hit a mid-range. The guy is so athletic that he can finish around the rim. The guy can make a free throw. The guy can set good screens. And the guy plays super duper hard, and he plays better than most starters in this league. But Bobby Portis and the Milwaukee Bucks agreed to a 3-year, $44 million deal. Portis held a for $13.4 million player option for next season, but he will decline that for this new contract that he just signed. Portis is represented by Mark Bordelstein and Pillar. Will also hold a player option for the 2028 season in this contract extension that he's signing. Portis averaged 13 points, 8 rebounds, and he also had 2.1 assists in 25 minutes. He only played 49 games because of the suspension that he ended up getting because of the drugs, and he did deal with little injuries over last year. He did have some good PER numbers too, showing you how good he is at contributing into winning. He also did miss 25 games in that suspension for taking a banned substance in the league. And that really hurted his season. That just hurted the Bucks too, because they probably could have had a better record if he was available and able to play. And that could have been 5, 6, 7 wins, and they might not even have to play the Pacers in the playoffs because of that. But you don't really want to run or duck competition. You want to see how good you are and see if you can beat the best teams out there. And they just couldn't get it done, but at least they prioritized getting one of their best players back on the roster. And that does make a lot of sense to lock them up for as long as you can. And they have done that. AJ Mitchell and the Thunder, they agreed to a 3-year, $9 million deal. Not making a crazy ton amount of money like I thought. Not the greatest player, not the worst player, but he did average 6 points, 1 rebound. Well, I would say 1.9 rebounds and 1.8 assists in 16 minutes. The man can play. He can get to the basket. He can knock down some perimeter shots. He's a guy that plays hard also, and he was selected with the 38th pick by the Thunder in the 2024 draft and was converted from a two-way contract to a standard deal in February, and now he's getting paid the big dollars. Even though $9 million might not sound a lot, in 3 years is better than average. So he has to be blessed with that mentality that it ain't the most that you can make, but you can probably make some in the future while still getting the contract you have locked up now. You can just stack them chips up. And that's the way you have to do it when you make that type of money in the NBA, especially because you're playing for the best team in the league and you can be potentially in a dynasty, and that's something special to be a part of. And that's the way you got to look at it now, too. Rockets do emerge with some interest in signing Dorian Finney-Smith. It's up to him if he wants to, leave with that contract option to become a free agent for somebody to give him a shot or a chance. But Finney-Smith did choose, at the end of the day, Smith did choose to decline his $15.4 million option for the 2025-26 season with the Los Angeles Lakers. But he was acquired by the Lakers, and now a lot of teams look at him as a guy they would like to have. But it makes sense. I want to get paid, but I also want to be on a competitive team, and I want to go to a team where I can play and have a good role on it. And most players want that, and he is a guy that people consider as a 3-and-D guy. And the Rockets did lose Dylan Brooks, so it does make sense for them to try to go in and put Dorian Finney-Smith in that spot. And it could happen. We just got to see how much money they're willing to throw at him and how many years they're willing to give him. And it all would make more sense. Other than that, that's all the news that I see that I didn't cover yesterday. Trying to keep everything separate in its own video, so that way the videos don't get too long. I know y'all don't want to watch a long video of somebody talking about basketball. Like I said, the biggest news to me is Deandre Ayton, because I actually like the guy, and he's real big, he's real strong, he's real physical, and that's something that's very needed in today's game. And he shows that he's willing to protect that rim sometimes too. He just got to stay healthy. He got to stay disciplined. He has to get rid of that mentality that, I'm the guy. Like, just play your game, play your role, and try to be the best player you can be, and just don't get, too crazy mentally at the end of the day. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for supporting the channel. Comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to your channel, I do conversation videos just like this and various NBA on the topics. I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do mock drafts and draft coverage in general. So you love that type of stuff, this may be the channel for you for sure, because I also do that also. And I also would say I got over 3,000 plus videos on my channel that you can watch and you can enjoy and check out. And also, I upload videos about NBA basketball things each and every day. So if you love that type of content, this is definitely the channel for you if you already wouldn't subscribe. But thank y'all for checking out. For the people that didn't want to subscribe, just giving this channel a chance is how I got over 12,000 subscribers. Strangers, but they did love how I presented myself, loved me for who I was as an analyst, and enjoyed the content that I continue to make as an analyst also. And that's all I can ask people to do, is get a channel a chance, and you might become a big fan or a subscriber or a supporter of me and what I do. Other than that, let's continue to remember, let's make 2025 a better year than 2015. That's basically the biggest goal, if not the only goal of this channel this year. Why not try to one up yourself? Why not try to do better than you have done in the past, and show that you do love and enjoy what you're doing and want to improve and enhance yourself and your abilities as much as you can, and be the best at your job as you can. And that's all I can really ask for myself to be and do. And I think that that's great for all of us to have that type of challenge, that type of mentality, could become the better version of ourselves to the highest degree. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed y'all weekend, as it is coming to an end and the weekdays are coming back as fast as that can be and as quick as that probably has happened. But I also would say thank y'all for making time for me. Thank y'all for appreciating the content and enjoying it for what it is. And thank y'all for continuing to come back to see what I have to say, or wanting to know what I have to say. And that's one of the biggest and best things that I can ask for y'all. And y'all do it so much, and y'all have done it for so many years. I've been in this game for 10 plus years, and I'm a pioneer for NBA only channels. And I do thank y'all for loving and supporting the type of content that I make in the way that I make it, because you knew damn well you don't know too many guys that do analysis the way that I do it. And I basically perfected this style, and more people are using it, more people want to do it for that reason. And I have become one of the most influential channels in YouTube for using the analysis and doing it the way that I do it. And it sticks out, and it's so unique that people love it for what it is and can't wait to get more. And that's a 50-50 reason why I'm still in this game and still doing well, because you guys love what I make and how I make it, and I love making it and giving it to y'all. And that's a big reason why the channel has been so successful for so long, and why it's going to stick around for more years. Other than that, I hope you guys are good. Hope you guys stay blessed up. I'm going for now, and I hopefully can see you guys tomorrow. Peace out and gone.